Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's episode of Kath and Drew, Church Without Borders. Featuring your hosts, Kathy Renwick.
Yeah, I got a lot to say.
Andrew Garrick. Finally, a good Mormon who goes to work for tonight's episode. Should we bring God back into public education? Tonight's episode is brought to you by God, Jesus Christ, Mormonism, and the Catholic Church.
And how's everybody doing?
Very good. Very good.
Thank you for tuning in.
How you guys
We got
doing?
a hot topic this week. Should we keep God or shall we put God back into the public education system? And you know what? I don't know.
It's a no-brainer.
What do you think, Drew?
It's a no-brainer. Yes.
You
for
obviously
sure.
know
For
that
sure.
I believe yes.
As well as I.
But where do you sit on this issue?
Obviously, yes. It's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. And I don't even know how it's up for discussion.
I gotta say this. The
Go ahead.
kids nowadays, they aren't as respectful,
Oh, there's bad kids.
nor are they do they have as good of manners as the kids back in my days.
Not at all.
And
Not
I
at
think the
all.
reason for that is we've removed God from the public education sector. And I think that's pretty obvious.
I think that's bang on.
Because when you've got God in your heart,
Mm-hmm.
you're absolutely shining in the direction you need to be going. That's obvious. That's something that's for sure. 100%.
Absolutely.
But if you've got yourself looking left to right and you're not keeping your hands together, tight, eyes pointed up, you can become lost out there. And a lot of times these kids don't have any direction. And a lot of times when you used to be in school and you included God, you had a little roadmap in your back pocket that would make sure you were going to church on Sundays and make sure you were having good religious suppers.
Yeah. I mean, I feel it's 100%.
I'm not wrong about this.
You're not.
Yeah,
No.
I'm a little bit older than you, right?
Well, just a little bit, but
A little bit.
30
But
years.
you and I both know.
Yeah, it's important. These kids got to be in church.
When you went to school, they started, the process had started.
We just started.
Okay? And not only that, we started taking God out of every single little thing that we did.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Here's another example. Your moms went to work.
Yep.
And they didn't make you good religious suppers.
Well,
Okay, and this
mine
is
did,
important
luckily. Mine
because
did.
a good religious supper, okay,
Mhm.
is usually a good slab of roast beef, followed by some plain veggies, maybe
Okay.
some mashed potatoes, maybe some peas, and then you get a good red Coke.
Oh.
Okay?
All right.
And that's a good religious supper.
It is.
Now, you flash forward now,
Mhm.
all these kids' moms are gone to work, and these kids are ordering pizzas and filling their bellies like that
I
with
know.
devil food. And
It's true.
it's pretty
true.
obvious where this has gone. It's gotten a little out of hand.
Has it ever?
And I know you're not of that because you've got a good family and you're trying to get where you need to get going too.
For sure.
But-
we only feed them religious
I
stuff.
hope you're making good religious suppers. That's all I'm going to
100%.
say.
That's
all I'm gonna say. I hope you are, and I hope everybody listening is as well.
Oh, that's my concern
So-
is that people aren't
But,
the ones
well,
that are listening.
We're going to get back to the topic of putting God back into
Yeah.
the math and science books.
hmm
Okay? And Drew, what do you think? I'm thinking yes. How do we do it? How do
They
we
have
get
to.
there?
We
Yeah.
we make sure kids are forced to learn about Jesus and God. That's just the first step.
Yeah.
We make sure of it. We tell these kids, you don't get to learn anything else.
When I was a little girl, I would always get teased, sometimes from the little heathens, about my breathing. You know, I sometimes there's a little bit of a snort when I try to suck back as I'm pushing out.
Yeah, you told me. I mean,
I knew
for years.
if I kept my eyes pointed to the sky, hands together tight, and I just flipped coins into God's pocket, that I would be taken care of. And I knew that from a young little girl's age. When I would go to church, as soon as the basket would come around, you should have seen me. I had them on my thumbs. I was flipping and dipping them into the basket. And that was basically right into God's pocket. And ever since then,
you were taken care of.
I've been taken care of.
I knew it.
I've been taken care of.
By God.
But that's another good thing about being a Catholic. Something that probably even you wouldn't understand, Drew.
Don't start down this path, Kathy.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I don't want to go down.
I mean, Drew, you know
the whole Mormon
how I
Catholic
feel about
path.
that as well.
I
If
know
we're
you
going to
do.
put God back in school, it has to be the right one.
Well, what
That's
is that?
also important.
What exactly
So it
does
has
that
to be
mean?
the Catholic God, the Catholic religion that's taught to these kids.
Whoa.
That's no question. It has to be.
I mean,
or else what are we doing? What are we doing?
Well,
May as well, we may as well give them a Berenstein Bear book. If we're going to be silly about it, why not take it all the way?
I mean,
if we want to be serious about it, we got to get good Catholic book back into God, back into the schools, back into the classes.
I agree.
And just make sure these kids understand it's not about them.
Yeah, I agree.
It's about God. He made everything for us, everything. The least we could do is follow it up with good religious suppers and red cokes.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. Maybe it should be a Christian book.
We're going to
just
be right
Catholic,
back. We're
but
just
Christian.
squealing into the time zone here. So we want to make sure that we get our commercial break in. But we're going to be right back after these messages. And we look forward to hearing from you.
For sure.
Hi, I'm Todd LaRue. You could stop at 5 or 6 stores, or just one.
And that's Todd LaRue's Hardware Emporium. You could try to stop at 5 or 6 stores to get what you want, but you may as well only stop at one. And he's located at 4215 King Street in St. George, Utah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think
nice.
I've been
right
there.
around the corner
I think I ordered something from that guy and
I've never been. I'll have to check it out.
Fixed up.
I'm always going to more stores than one. So.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Back to the discussion, Drew. If I'm going to give you a little opportunity to talk here about this because you've been pointing at this about all these different things that you can do to give yourself to God.
Yeah.
And let's discuss that. Let's discuss that.
One of the ways that you can give yourself to God is by basically
that's what you think.
Well, that's what I know.
Yeah.
You can give yourself to God by wearing white shorts and wearing white shirts, and then that way you are basically emitting light back into God's
Well, that's where I disagree with you, Drew. That's where I disagree with you. And the reason
you
being
think
is
appearance
this. I'm going to
doesn't
read you
matter,
a little
but I
bit of
do,
scripture.
Kathy.
Okay? And this comes from the book of Corinthians.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay?
Go ahead.
And I'm going to try to get you to guess who wrote it. See how good you are at all this.
Okay. I probably will be able to
this.
guess who wrote it. I've memorized the Bible.
If you're never paying attention, you will never understand things.
I've never heard that quote from the Bible.
Okay, there's another one that I like. There's another one here. I'll read you another one here.
Go ahead.
Don't walk a dog with 3 legs. And that was said by Matthew, Book of Corinthians, 34-12. You know it. You've seen it. I don't have to get into it with you about it.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Moving forward.
Let's get back to the focus here.
Yeah, that would be good at this point.
God in school. Make sure you write your senator, your politicians.
Please,
Tell them,
people,
hey,
please.
I know where you have been flipping the coins, and they're not into God's pockets. You better start flipping them into God's pockets. We got to get these kids back on track. We got to get them focused. We got to get them built better, and then we'll be all right. All right? And then sign your name and flip it off to them.
Yeah.
And ship it out.
No reason you can't do
All
that,
right.
guys. Come on, every listener out there, get your pens out.
Really
Come
excited.
on.
Let's shift gears here. A little bit of shifting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how we can get our listeners involved. I've always been wanting to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted people to call in. You know the number. You're fans of Kath and Drew.
Yeah.
We used to be a little bit underground. Now we're getting a little bit bigger. And
It's so
we
good
want you guys
to talk to you
call
guys.
in. And,
So good to talk to you guys.
ask your questions about God.
Because we're here
We're
to
here
answer
to
them.
answer them.
Exactly.
Okay? We're here to answer them. Right, Drew?
Absolutely. I've got
Yeah.
the answers in my book.
Yeah. Let's...
You know.
You've got to have questions about God, and we're more than excited to answer them. So I see it lighting up here. I see we got our first caller coming in. Super
Oh,
excited. All
This
right.
is great.
Let's see here. It looks
Perfect.
like his name is Howard. All right. How you doing, Howard?
Hey,
How's
Howard.
it going?
How are you?
Hello.
How are ya?
How are you, Howard?
Hi.
Yeah.
Well, I'm terribly sick.
Oh.
I need to ask God about a couple of things.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
go ahead and ask him. Shoot the questions off.
Well,
Okay.
Sometimes I don't think he has a plan for me.
Uh-huh.
The pain is so bad some days that I can hardly stand it.
Oh. Well,
I'm-
this is what I would suggest. Start flipping
Okay.
your coins out of your pocket, out of your
Well,
dresser, and
all
into
right.
God's
Well,
lap. That's the
Yes.
only way you're going to
Horrible.
find any peace
Oh,
It's
with
the only
anything
way.
that's going on right
right.
now.
It's the only
Because,
way.
this is the problem with the
goodbye.
world. It ends up being,
Goodbye.
take care, Howard. It ends
Bye,
up
Howard.
being this whole pity party game.
Yeah.
It ends up being a pity party for me. And that's not what this is about. It's
No.
about making sure you're staying true to God and not
Exactly.
cheating yourself out of getting into heaven. Because that's the main goal. Don't lose sight of the goal.
Don't.
Make sure you got your eye on the prize. All right?
You know,
Okay.
you're only
Okay.
doing a
Okay.
disservice to
You know,
yourself.
if you have anything to
doing
add,
that.
Drew, go ahead.
He was
Because
negative from the
We've
start,
got to make
Cappy.
sure that people like that understand it's about God.
Yeah.
It's about God.
I don't think he
Okay.
understood that from the get-go.
Okay.
Before he called.
All right.
Poor guy.
And
Lost.
lastly, I know the show's getting,
Mm-hmm.
time to wrap up soon.
Yep.
But Drew, what
Yeah.
do you do with your kids at home to make sure that they're paying attention to God?
So basically what we do is we force them to keep their eyes pointed up, just like as you say, hands tight. And then what we do is we have them just
Wow.
walk 200 paces.
And that's good. That's good. Making
Mhm.
sure that they're doing things like that is truly what you should be doing.
Yep.
I'm
I
not.
know.
That's not a makeup. That's
Yep.
not a made up thing.
No.
Yeah.
And after the 200 paces, what we do is we have them truly focus on God.
Absolutely.
Making sure that they are just dialed in when it comes
Yep.
to God. So, if it takes 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever the case may be,
Absolutely.
we're just making sure they're not thinking about anything else. And
Well, the thing, the
hyper-focused.
most important thing is this.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've got your hands extremely tight, like I'm talking about bolting them together,
Basically we do that.
keep your eyes pointed up. And then I want you to walk outside and take about 250 steps and keep your eyes up.
Yep.
Don't look anywhere else. trust in God, and God will make sure that you're taken care of.
100%.
That's the whole idea here.
Mm-hmm.
Let God take care of you. And that's all the time that we have for tonight. But we're going to have you back next week. We got some exciting topics. I know Drew's pumped up. And you know what? We're happy to have you guys tune in. Have yourselves
Thanks
a
a
good
lot for
religious
listening,
supper.
guys.
And maybe a red Coke.
Have a great night.